It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Well, joining us now here on the show is Mark Penn, the great pollster. Of course, a lot of these topics are going to come up, I'm sure, at the debate, which is now just a few days away. And Mark with us in studio, we have Peter King, Ed Cox, Judge Weinberg, and also the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Chairman Mike Turner. Mark, first of all, what's the over-under on the debate? Is Biden going to make it through, first of all? Because he's practicing over the weekend. There were reports he was practicing to stand up for 90 minutes. Forget the substance.
Remember, debates are all about expectations. So he's got the lowest expectations. That's a problem. You know, I think that you're going to have to see. I think he's going to come out fighting the entire time. How that's going to play, I don't know, but I think he's going to be loaded for bear, and that's what I think he's going to try to do. And we'll see where he gets.
Yeah. Do you think I agree with you on that point, Mark, because at the State of the Union, when he came out, it was sort of the angry Joe Biden, pounding his fist. And it was like, whoa, I was looking for corn pop, because he wanted to have the fight with corn pop years before. So I'm thinking, oh, my God. And so it may be that. He's also been preparing a lot. He's been at Camp David, and he's said to be at Camp David through the week. What do you think are going to be the sort of the hot button issues, and where do you see the strategy being? Because the word is that Joe Biden is going to be sort of the attack dog, and it's going to be Trump, January 6th, threat to democracy. How do you see this going? Because also they're not going to talk over each other. They won't be able to, according to at least the CNN. They're saying they're going to have the mic sort of individual. So it's not really a debate per se.
Well, I don't know. I actually like them turning off the mics. I like a little decorum. I love the Kennedy-Nixon debates. I wish they could have like people from the press from different networks, from CNN and Fox and whatnot, alternate. Then it won't be, that'll make it really like an old-fashioned debate. Look, I think that is the strategy of the Biden campaign: make Trump unacceptable, attack, felon. Democracy, January 6th, avoid talking about inflation, immigration, or crime, and talk about abortion, and that's their strategy. So I don't think there's going to be any change of strategy on their point. I mean, the real question is whether Trump is going to really play a little bit more towards the middle and try to sweep up those voters in the center compared to playing to his base.
Hey, Mark, this is Pete King. What should Trump do when he's attacked? Should he rebut the attacks, or should he go on offense himself, talk about what he achieved during his administration?
Well, look, in an ideal world, you rebut the attack briefly and then pivot to either what you did or what you're going to do or some combination. That's what you do in an ideal world. Now, I think they're counting on the fact that he has trouble doing that. He's going to want to go in to the details of refutation and burn up all his time. That's going to be their strategy, is get Trump on the defensive, defending himself all the time. What did he do January 6th? How is he a convicted felon? How is he going to serve when he's in prison? If they can throw him on the defensive, that's going to win.
Wait, did you say when he's in prison there for a second? Was that a Freudian slip or something, Mark?
No, I mean, that's what they're going to say. They're not going to say, that's what I'm just telling you. That is the way they are going to paint this, to like exactly that, to put him on the defense, get him riled up. That's clear.
But Mark, what about on the flip side? You can imagine that Trump has a lot of ammo that he could go after with Joe Biden. He could say, let's talk about what's going on the border. And Joe Biden has been known to get a little testy. In fact, the moment I thought was the most interesting at the State of the Union, and I mean, it was a wild moment with him and sort of Marjorie Taylor Greene when she was saying, say her name, and then he says Lincoln Riley. He doesn't say Laken Riley. But then they were kind of going back at it. So he's kind of known to get a little off script himself.
Well, right. And if Trump can keep it on 19% price increases, millions of people in the country illegally, crime and migrant crime, if he can keep it on those topics and how if he can keep it on those topics and a better life for you, whether you're Hispanic, Black, Asian, white, anything that you are, if he can stick to those things, then obviously that's going to mean something to people out there. If it's a battle of felons and Hunter Biden and whatnot, then people are just going to look at it and say, well, the issues in the end, when they don't like either candidate, in the end, they will vote on the issues. That's the paradox of when. Remember, the people in the center here don't like either candidate. They've got things they don't like about Biden. They've got things they don't like about Trump. And so they're going to look for what's going to make their life better.
And everybody, we're talking to pollster Mark Penn. Judge Weinberg.
Mark, good to talk to you again. Let me ask you this question. How does Trump handle these two moderators of this debate when both of them have track records of being so hostile to Trump and making all these accusations against him over the years?
I don't think people have any trouble if he fires back at the moderators, because remember, the moderators, 4 years earlier didn't let him talk about Hunter Biden, moved on, said, shut down debates on any issues. I don't think, look, if he's going to I think that it's one thing to just, degenerate into an argument with Biden. It is another thing to push back on these moderators. I think it's fair game. I think him against the press, he always wins. I'm a little less worried about that. And in fact, with these moderators, he's probably going to have to push back because their goal is going to be to make him look bad. They can't be the CNN moderator who let Trump win a debate. That's like, game ender for a moderator who works at CNN. Yeah,
by the way, coming up also later on the show, we have Bill O'Reilly, and we're going to be talking about a moment that's making headlines all over the country today, where Casey Hunt, who's the host there on CNN, didn't want to hear when the Trump national spokesperson said, about some of the bias that CNN has shown and these moderators have shown. And she finally said, you're done. I wonder if that's the way they're going to handle it on Thursday night. Ed Cox.
In the end, Mark, do debates really matter? Isn't it what the impact of the incumbents administration has been on people's lives and whether you're better off now than you were 4 years ago? Isn't that the real issue? The real issues, inflation.
Well, that's the issue, but that's right. But this debate matters. It's an early debate. There still have 20-25% of the people who could change their mind here. They haven't seen these two people. They have questions about both of them. There's going to be a huge audience. I think this could be, by the time you get the audience for the actual debate. And then, remember, you have to win the debate, and then you have to win the spin that comes out of the debate, and then you have to win the clips which go on social media to the debate. So it's a very complex thing. But when you think about the level of communications here, coming out of this debate, can it change voters 5%? Yes, it can.
Mark, before I let you go, to Ed's point and your point, Van Jones, the CNN commentator, came out, and Van's clearly on the left side, but he's also pretty straight ahead. He said the other day that if Biden has a weak performance, it's over for him. Do you agree?
I think the dangerous thing about what the Biden camp did with this debate is to schedule it before the convention. I have always said 100% Biden is the nominee. If for some reason, and I don't think it's that likely, Biden really falters in the debate, stares off into space, whatever, yes, that is the one thing that could cost him the nomination.
Your thoughts?
Unlikely, but it could happen.
Chairman Turner, we have here in the studio. Your thoughts, Chairman Mike Turner?
Well, I think one thing we should always think of when we talk about Biden is that because of his history and senator, his longtime service, I mean, this is sort of, his muscle memory. The debating structure is something he's familiar with. You could probably wake him up in the middle of the night and he could, roll onto the Senate floor and do a debate. I think here, though, Trump does have an opportunity, and that is talk to the American public. And I hope that the noise and the chaos around doesn't take hold. He has a record. He needs to talk about that record. And there's certainly the Biden administration has a record comparing the two in all the issues that are important to Americans. Trump has a plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mark Penn, thank you very much, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, stick with us, of course. And Mark, thank you so much. We'll see what happens Thursday night.